I'm Fred Holly. I am the production director here at Mosaic Church. The production team here at Mosaic Church is unique. We're made up of many kinds of people. I tell you, it's from young, old, all different kinds of backgrounds of folks. And what's good about it is we're allowed to come in here and actually do this thing on Sunday morning. And we're also ministering to ourselves. So what happens is we come in and we do what we do for service. In the middle of that, we get ministered to. It's a closed group. We get to see Pastor and what's happening on the stage right up front. So it's not like we have a way to get around that. That's what we do. So production gets to see all things and be all things in the sanctuary. Okay, why production in the first place? Why all of this? Why all these lights? Why all this, anything that we do? I think it matters because we believe people matter. I believe that the production matters. Just think for a second, if we have broken microphones and just crazy looking things, and who's gonna come listen and sit in that? I believe we need to have the best that we can have with what we have as resources. I believe Jesus would do it that way. I believe God wants that. It's okay to have fancy things, but if we're doing nothing with them, we're not reaching people with it, then it's just fancy things. So I think that's important. Fancy, yes, it's wonderful, but is it important? No. What's important is what the people take away from what we're doing. So production is extremely important to make sure they can hear, make sure they can see, and make sure they have an environment to worship. The way we prepare for Sunday service, it's very simple. We come in and the whole crew starts filtering in from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, basically. What that means is the first person here, we're turning everything on. We're turning TVs on. We're turning, screens. We're turning on the audio, getting the room just right. So when the worship team comes in and gets their part going, they have a nice environment to go. There's a lot of pre-service, things that we have to get ready to make sure that we have a flawless service. Now, is it going to be flawless every single time? Absolutely not. We're people, that's for sure. And we've got volunteers that are learning. So on this journey, we're picking up skills. That's what I love about this team is we're able to learn together. We make our big mistakes together, and it's quite fun in that sense. But for the most part, Sunday service is amazing. I think our volunteers are second to none, and they've been great at what we've been doing and what we've accomplished. From a technical standpoint at Mosaic Church, it's multifaceted. We have so many different things that we do. Lighting, projection, audio, anything that you see, anything that you hear, that's primarily what we're responsible for. And the reason it's so important, we want to wrap everything that we're doing around what the pastor is doing and make sure that that message that he is put out, it's able to be heard, be seen, and make that work like that. At our church, we have been very fortunate. We've been blessed. I believe God's given us great favor when it comes to just products and things that we've been able to use. We're using D-Live for audio in front of the house. We're using RCF for sound reinforcement. We got Camsys for our lighting. We're using Roland for video mixing. All kinds of different things that we're using. And I just believe that all these tools are essential when it comes to the Word and what we're trying to do. All it is just another mechanism or tool for Pastor to get his words out to the people and for us to help provide an environment that's worthy enough for people to come in and feel free enough to worship. That's what's important, more than any of this stuff. This is just stuff. So at the end of the day, we want to make sure that this stuff is being used to bring people into the building in such a way that they can come in and feel free enough to worship, to let their guard down, if you will, and just find God there. And that's what's exciting, more than the gear. But we're excited about the gear also, so we're thankful for it. Most churches, when you see a new church build, they're looking for people to come do things. They're looking for people to do plumbing. They're looking for people to do heating and air and things like that. And you have an architect, you have this and that. Well, when it came to the audio visual, all the stuff that you see, that's lighting, that's audio, any of that. We did it ourselves. We were the integrators of all that equipment. We put it together, our design, all of it, the room, all of that. And what I'm extremely happy about is this whole system is a volunteer-based installation. And that's super exciting. That means that we all pull together as a church and we built this thing. I think that's the best buy-in that you could get at any church. And I think that's the most exciting thing that you can do, because guess what? You know what's going on in your building. It's one thing to have someone integrate something and then you just fall in on it and you're trying to figure it out. Well, we put this stuff in here. We know where every single wire is. We know where every single camera is. And we know what every piece of gear does. Because why? We integrated it. So I think that is very strong, and I'm very pleased with that. Our culture on Sunday morning is amazing. After we've gotten in, we've got all of our slides loaded and ProPresenter. We've got everything going, all the audio's on, everything is ready to go, all the batteries and microphones and things like that. Well, it's almost time to come to service. So we have a countdown that starts. It's 5 minutes. Then it goes down to 2 minutes. It goes down to 1 minute. Then it's down to 30 seconds. That last 30 seconds is amazing. I feel like that last 30 seconds is where we come together as a team and just kind of lose our mind, actually. We have a good time with it. It's some really neat music comes on, our little bumper that comes on at the end of that. And we just have what we call our dance party. And then for 30 seconds, we're just losing it. And then we go into the service, the worship starts, and then the rest of our day is wonderful. So I think that little bit of time is something that we hang on to. And it just helps bring a camaraderie to all the folks that are in the booth, all the folks that are actually in the control room. The thing I like about making disciples, releasing ministers, is this. You're teaching someone something. And I feel like, I'm only going to be on this earth so long, and I want to teach someone every single thing that I know. Why? Because they're in the same journey with me. And I want to make sure that they can take what I know and amplify it, put what they know with it, and go further. As far as the production team, there's about 50 of us or more at this point. So what does that mean? We have a lot of things to do, and it takes a massive crew to do it. So what's exciting about that is I believe we have enough to rotate folks through cameras, we rotate folks through ProPresenter, doing audio in front of the house, back of the house, stage works and things like that. What's amazing about that is it's ongoing, it's evergreen. That means we need people all the time, and because not everyone can be here every service, and we don't want that. We want you to sit in service, and so you're fed also, so you can come hungry, get fed, and then be able to come and work with us on our team. What's important about that is, you need to know that you're welcome. You can come and do this. You can get on the team. If you're thinking about joining this team, please do. Discover Mosaic is always open. If you're new to the church, hey, get in there and do Discover Mosaic. Let us figure out who you are, and you can figure out who we are as a production team. Sign up and come over so you can shadow one of our folks and learn what it is that we do. And you might discover something along the way. We've had people come in and say, hey, I just want to run things on the slides, and I'm like, okay. And they discover, hey, I like cameras all of a sudden, and become one of the best camera operators we've ever had. That kind of thing happens all the time. So you may not know, you might know that you want to join production, but you might not know what part of production is you. What church means to me is just everything. I started as a young child. I was in the pews early on with my father. I knew right away that he was going to make me an usher, no matter what it was going to be. I had white gloves, the whole bit. I figured out that, hey, maybe I don't want to do that. I want to be a musician. So I went from that to choir, and I just came up in music. Basically, I was a cellist for years. I worked in symphonies and different things like that. And I figured out, hey, here's a bass guitar, and I picked that thing up. Went professional, went on the road. And the rest is history. I just became a musician. Anything from studio work on to live work, it doesn't matter. Anything that made music, made sound, I was highly interested in it. I came to know the Lord and said, hey, through all that whole process, I knew Him, but then I just made a commitment to the Lord, I should say. When that happened, I crossed over and decided, hey, I wasn't going back to secular music, playing any of that kind of weirdness. And what happened there was a transformation in my heart. And basically, when that happened, I got involved with production for church. And it has been nothing but a great ride. And I just love it. And I'm just happy to be, and I feel fortunate to be in this position